How to bleach your bumhole?
Yeah.
Well, would I? Just support your channel. Would you show the bumhole?
Well, yeah, otherwise how are you going to teach people?
You'd use a prop. Something. I don't know.
True.
Like, you know how you get tattooists practice on pigskins? You could do something like that. Practice on
Yeah.
practice on a pig's bumhole. There we go. You master your art form. Where am I going?
I like Jim Jeffries' bit about when he's talking about anal sex. It's just like, no, I don't really like anal sex. I'm not a fan of anal sex. It looks very inviting in porn, but you know you can't smell porn. I've never considered that. I've never done it. I've attempted to. It just didn't happen.
Like, what is the actual purpose of bleaching your bumhole? Does it just get stained? I haven't looked at it.
It just gets stained, yeah. Like,
It's fucking horrible.
As far as I understand, over years, the excessive shitting. But, you know, I wouldn't even call it excessive shitting. Everyone shits.
One of humanity's poorly designed people.
Well, you got to ask yourself the question: do you really trust someone with a clean bumhole?
Yeah. Like you see people from Essex with proper white teeth and that, fucking insane. Proper like Ross
It just
with
doesn't
Friends.
look good.
Ross with Friends style.
Yeah, that's it. He did it as a joke, but like, I'm not against getting work done to that to the extent of getting like a proper fucking. But it's over the top, isn't it? It's ridiculous.
Yeah. I wouldn't mind having like mouth like Jim Carrey or that proper like American Nashers. I wouldn't bleach some of that like fucking ceramic porcelain.
Yeah, that's it. It's just they shine, don't they?
Yeah. You ever put a train ticket in your mouth and the white bit at the back is, well, the bit that's white and you put it in your mouth, you look like Jim Carrey or something. It's like proper white teeth. American Teeth. Looking for a band. American Teeth. Proper heavy rain and tsunami there. All the pubs not open down there right in at Christmas Day.
There were some open.
Trying to like, really have them open.
Nah, I mean, sometimes they're open for just a few hours. I mean, I think I saw one advertised earlier on Facebook that was advertising open.
It's mainly Chinese restaurants and that that make all the money at Christmas Day.
Oh yeah, all the Indian places are open. I was confident that I could go to a community and then my Pakistani.
Yeah. The one by me, I think they're actually Harry Krishna run it. They open that, quite busy. Harry Krishna or something like that, wear like beads on their neck and stuff.
fucking love it, don't they, those Hare Krishnas?
Bolted and trinkets and stuff. Like, actually, with trinkets like Hare Krishna and Baldy bastards. Do you know any Hare Krishnas, like mates wise?
No, we see a couple down here just Hare Krishna in it up.
I go to a concert, like hardcore punk concerts, and there's a lot of bands that have Hare Krishna followers. And it's, it's part of their lore, lifestyle choices and all that. And the guy was always at these gigs, was always shaking your hand and praying and stuff. You fucking stop bowing. Fucking bowing. Bow too much.
It's better than a coke habit.
I mean, there's proper, like, the guy, I think he's about 40, but he looks about 25, and his face is young and youthful and that. Good shape. Fucking believes in a lot of bullshit.
The myth of the Doomslayer, his power, his will to overcome. These are the lies of the no believers.
Is there football on tomorrow?
Yeah.
What is it, son? In the Premier League?
Premier League.
Yeah.
I'm charting a flight path to Mars. Calculating thrust vectors. Launching in 3, 2, 1. Approaching planetary entry phase. Prepare for turbulence.
Did you see that tattoo, Messi? Fucking brilliant, yeah.
I've seen worse tattoos, but it's not. If you're gonna get a tattoo like that, you've got to invest in someone with real talent. Realism can't be done by halves.
I mean, the actual tattoo of him was alright. It was the trophy with a knob. Fucking.
Yeah, I've seen worse. That 3 Labradors one.
What's that?
Yeah. Oh, it was like a betting advert for England during the World Cup. It was like, don't have bet regret this tournament. Just a little. So obviously it's all fiction anyway. But it was just someone that had like, they tried to get 3 lions tattooed on their arm, and it looked like 3 Labradors.
Labs. A lot of hooligans have really bad tattoos, like really badly done.
It's just era as well, and people have got a lot better at tattooing since the.
A lot of the Rangers fans have a red right hand tattoo, and it just looks like shit. It's like running by a child.
Cheaper as well, isn't it? That's the thing.
You've done shitholes as well. I know you get it a lot in England where they get tattoos of like championships that they've not actually won yet and stuff, like titles that they've not won yet. England 2022 Qatar champions, and then they don't win it, but you've got a tattoo of it. Why would you do that?
Euro 2020, that actually happened.
Yeah, why would you do that? Why would you get a tattoo of that for its happened? Not even to do with overconfidence, it's just silly. It's like this country was in the World Cup. I wouldn't get a tattoo saying Scotland declare winners. It's fucking. No. I would assume that we'd be out right away. Even if you're good, even if you're like France or Portugal or whatever, you just don't assume. I wouldn't got a tattoo like Morocco, and you got them. Shit. Fuck off, cunts. human rights.
I think the main character of Final Fantasy 16 is
You joking?
no, I think it is.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's like a fantasy sort of setting, like obviously fantasy, but it's like knights and dragons type scenario.
Yeah, it's like Prince Fire.
We have
Well, it looks like it is, to be honest. I'm just sort of holding out hope that I've got it wrong.
don't tell Craig this, right? We have a kind of meme where Craig is the most boring plain name in Scotland. Like, alright, Craig, and you say like, oh, he's a Craig, or just a random old man or whatever. There's no characters, anything Scottish with the name Craig. It just doesn't happen. It's not like insulting, it's just
It's just one of those
Craig.
funny words.
I mean, it's not like a sexy name or a smart name, it's just a name. Like Alan's a boring name, or Colin. Colin's not too bad actually. Gary, it's not like Gary, the famous Gary, he's really good. Craig.
My dad said his logic for our names was, because the deal was he got to pick the boys and I picked the girls. And my dad said he wanted the name that suited a child and an adult. You know, you can't call a kid Arthur, for example, can you? It's not really fair.
It takes too long for him to accept to fit the name.
Yeah.
22 or something.
Not even then, like, you know, unless you, like, maybe you were in an indie band or something like that.
An actor or something.
Yeah. And we got, obviously, Steve, Gareth, Bill, Rob, Martin. I think he nailed it, to be honest, with what he had in mind. And then my mum comes along and calls my sister Ruth.
It's nice thing, yeah.
She's a bitch.
Oh.
I just always think of that Friends episode where Ross suggests it as a name for their baby when Rachel is like, having an 89-year-old.
Yeah, Ruth. I think I mean like Audrey or Morag is no name up here. Morag. Elizabeth. My pal, she came up to me one time, she had a baby. I was like, oh, hi, you've got a baby? Yeah, it's Colin. Colin? She said, hi, Colin. You felt so fucking strange for a baby. Colin. Colin's our middle-aged man's name, not a fucking baby, you know? I think it came after a dad or a brother or something, or man. Colin. Baby Colin.
Colin's not so bad. I was called David for 2 days.
Yeah, that's fine, that's
But it's because I've got an uncle David.
That's the link to the Bible. Probably last thing.
It's all right, name. Dave's a timeless name.
Yeah, last forever, like, they'll always be David.
Joe.
Johns and Williams and that. They'll always be them.
Yeah.
Fucking kids have got stupid names these days, like Levi, just dumb name.
Shit people come out with these days.
Mackenzie's a put name up here. Mackenzie, and it's actually because of it's a Charvin, it's a Charv brand of clothes, Mackenzie. So a lot of the sort of Charvin outfit for the kids, Mackenzie.
Just the first thing they say when they find out they're going to be parents. I used to have a built our bar that was thick as shit. He called his son Stanley, and I just know full well when he was thinking of a name, he was so uncreative.
It was his toolbox.
So it's still Stanley. He wasn't so bad though. I felt for him. I know he had a coach problem at the time, but that's why he was happy working with us, because he was hoping that he would stay away from certain people and that. But I remember seeing him I saw him a couple of years later, and he was alright doing another building job. Then I saw him about 3, 4, 5 years later after that. I see him in the street, and I'm like, Blake. There was a woman with him that was either a carer or his mum. And honestly, he just looked through me like I just had to pretend like I thought he was someone else, and like that. You know, just to move on, because whatever, he looked like a shell of himself. His mind just, what he used to do, well, he only did it once with us, and he was clean for a while, but like, he was one of them people that are getting 24 beers. That's, he'd have a night in on a Friday to himself or Saturday, or both, and he wouldn't come back into work till Wednesday.
I've been there, like, and then it's like, and more people that are like, get as a sort of lifestyle, and it's like, you won't see 50 at this rate, mate, you're doing that every Friday and Saturday.
Well, that's it. I remember an old customer at a bar once I was talking about OT, and I think I was like 31 at the time. And he said, he's like, nah, I used to do it, but and I think he was about, early to mid 40s, but his response stuck with me. He was like, nah, I'm just very aware that these days, at this age, I'm just about the right amount of overweight to have a heart attack, so I'm good.
That's good thinking, right?
Yeah, and that's it. You're absolutely right. Yeah, you've got to. But I do know some of these old boys that do it, but I'm pretty sure they've got like, sources that are more or less. I don't know. Like Norman, I'm thinking of this guy, for example. He's like 70. He likes it, but I have heard that the cleaner, the more pure stuff. That he's a very unique comedian. I have people that I know that they've seen him and like he's been a right dickhead because he's riding on a treadmill. This guy and I was like, I said hello to him. He probably doesn't want to be interrupted when he's on the fucking treadmill. Yeah. But I've served him to the time. Hello, Mr. Kirgan, how are you? Really nice. Like tips.
You can Lemmy, the comedian, Scottish comedian.
I know he is.
He gets stopped in the street all the time, but he's hard to get him to leave you alone. He'll just talk and talk daisies. It's like people are like, if you've got something to be, don't talk to Lemmy because he'll just keep talking to you. He loves the film, he loves the conversation.
I imagine it's easier depending on what kind of celebrity you are as well, and how how ready you are for it and stuff. Like Eminem, for example, he weren't ready for it, was he? It happened fast and suddenly, and nothing could stop it. And
when he played at Tea in the Park. It's a festival, it used to be near Moon Peach Day, and when he was going into like locations, people were falling about his bus in their cars, just chasing after him. Imagine that.
Yeah, he's like Ronaldo famous, isn't he? Or rather, Ronaldo's like Eminem famous.
If you were to put a picture of Eminem in an African country, a random African country, they would know who he is. He's just that iconic face.
Yeah, I mean Ronaldo. I think it's a football fame as well. It's a bit different in there. Like, so I saw someone talking about. Do you know why the reason kids love sports stars so much is because they follow their dreams. Every football fan of a bloke didn't achieve their dream of. Not that we tried hard enough, By the time I decided I wanted to play for Man United in England, I was 13. I'm not going to achieve it starting at that. Do you know what I mean? There's limits for football, but football fame's a bit different, I think, in that it's sport, and you play for a team and they follow a club, and it's just slightly different. But eminent as well, and they're not plied with drugs and parties, are they? I mean, there's pitfalls as a footballer, sure, but they're not. It doesn't come with the territory unless you seek it out.
Yeah.
Like George Best. Bless him. Was it? You might have seen this, but like Sir Alex Ferguson talking about Paul Gascoigne.
Yeah.
And he says he wishes he'd managed him, and he's like, I think he would have been all right in Manchester, because London. And I've heard, I watched Ben Foster. I highly recommend Ben Foster's podcast, by the way. His YouTube channel. It's fucking good.
He's the keeper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He plays for United.
I watched it.
And I love watching all that because he talks about, you know, stuff you never ever the industry of football. You know, like how does it work when he tells these stories about like when he just signed for Man United but he didn't have any money and he was on, you know, went from being on 600 a week to $5,000 a week. Like, had no money and had to get an overdraft. Anyway, yeah, with like he talks about it as well. Like London can be carnage. Like London, you know, there's almost special considerations for players that are playing in London. It's just hard. There's more temptation. It's harder to keep your feet on the ground, kind of thing, because it's just so much going on around you. You get invited to so much stuff, you know, and you've got the West End and theatres and movie premieres, and there's just so many VIP events, and you know, whereas Manchester's, yeah, it's got like it's liveliness, but it's not the same. Nowhere near. London's fucking beast. Like, it's fucking mental. That video of him not too long ago where it was like a charity match and they set it up really blatantly so Gaza could just score a goal.
Yeah.
And he fucking miskicked it, and it's almost like, don't put him in these spots again. I've seen another one where they were like, you know, his charity got like 10 grand if Gaza scored this penalty, and it was from like 8 yards out instead of 12 yards, and you know, he missed it, and then they're like, oh, it's alright, Gaza. Yeah, who wants Gaza to have another go? And got the crowd all riled up. Yeah, go on, break the rules, just, you know. And then he missed it.
Oh man.
And then it was like, third time lucky, and he missed it.
That reminds me, I've told you this, but there's a documentary about Dennis Rodman in North Korea. And, it's just mental. But there's a bit where he's like, they ask him to take a free throw just to show everybody. It's like thousands of people from North Korea watching him. And he can't do it. Did it about fucking, honestly, probably about 12 times. And it was so awkward there because they're all like sort of like waiting for him to score. He's like, I'm not a shooter, I'm a guard. It's so fucking awkward. Like. And he was absolutely drunk as well.
Let him be
funny.
judged like the others.
I mean, obviously it's funny. It's funny.
Yeah, but cringe as well. You're like,
it's just, you feel, because you can tell you're hating it, and he's like trying to explain to him, like, I'm not a guard, I'm not like Michael Jordan, I'm a guard, I don't take shots. It's fucking funny. He's missing it. And they're all like, yeah, you done it, oh, you done it, oh, you done it.
I offer you a great powerful one.
Yeah, Paul Gascoigne, I do feel for him, like, when you see him, he looks really, like, is it always on a hangover type look about him? Red face or sweating and that.
yeah, he's already got a saggy chin already, isn't he? And
Yeah. I watched a documentary about him, like, it was quite sad obviously, but it was really good. And it was showing me
you won't
younger,
have
and
that best.
I think he still was in a rehab occasionally.
I know of what you have left.
Yeah, he's probably. You hear people describing what he's like, you know. John Barnes describes him as like, you know, everyone's got that special friend. And now he's Gaza, like he's just. But I think as well, I don't know if you know, but you know Tony Adams, the England captain. He went off the rails massively. He's had alcoholism problems.
Yeah.
But I don't know if it was the first time, but he had a massive either it kicked into an alcohol problem or it was like a massive relapse when England got like lost to 96. And I think Gazza's had the same sort of hangover from 1990 as well. Right.
He was quite, sort of a legend here for playing for Rangers. He was legendary. There was like paintings and that on the walls of him still. I was
Well,
always
he was
amazed.
Rangers, wasn't he? That was what was mad about Gazza. It was like, he fucked off to Scotland. Why?
Yeah, he was totally revered here. Like, I always remember how fast he fucking ran. We were like, fucking hell, how fast he was running. We guy, he was really quick. Yeah. Yeah, he still gets paintings and that done on the walls and parts of Glasgow. People with flags on still. Like he done a thing where he I don't remember this, but he was playing at Ibrox and he done a flute thing. Maybe, I don't know if it's Orange Walk, anything what that is, but it's like a secretarian thing. And he was sort of like, the IRA were trying to kill him. At one point they were like fucking hitting him like for doing that. And what's the secret? What's that happened? Yeah, Gaza, right? Legendary. He actually brought out a song as well, Gaza. It was a really bad rap song, I remember that. Like, it was a total Geordie in the video. I remember Andy Cole brought out a rap song and it was fucking tish, like. And I remember Man U 97, 98 brought out a single as well, and it was like,
yeah, that was class.
Terrible.
Oh yeah, as in, that's how crap it was class.
And believe it or not, I don't remember this, but they actually brought it on the album. It was like Man United album. I had it, and I had them on the front, like Schmeichel and that, Solskjaer. But it was, I think they sang about 2 of them. The rest were like random generic football songs. Shite. There were always terrible singers though. I mean, John Barnes was decent at the rapping, like.
Well, I think he was just black, to be honest.
Yeah, he was born with it. Black guy, always sound cool in the street. But, Schmeichel, Paul Gascoigne, Andy Cole, and fucking all that was shit.
Paul Parker.
Don't forget to do that.
Gascoigne didn't play for United.
I know. I was saying that his song was shite, like the footballer songs were terrible.
So like Paul Parker wasn't on that track.
Yeah.
Well, he was on the Come On You Reds track.
There was a New Order song that was a wee bit of a...
God of Motion, yeah. John Barnes that rap, but you can still put it out now. Your head, you gotta get to the line. You can be slow or fast, but you gotta do it like that.
But my favourite player was actually the only name I've had in the back of my top was Andy Cole. I remember reading it, it's not a single fucking right. Reading it was about fucking 13, I was like, this is shite.
Yeah, it was. I think it was just a phase where they tried to, like the entertainment industry just thought, let's see if it works, making football stars, like, you know, do songs.
Yeah, it was almost hand in hand. You know.
Well, it would have been really lucrative if it pulled off.
Oh yeah, especially Man U. The fame they had.
That's the experiment. You know, Ronaldo, like he's always said, he hasn't said. I've not heard him say it recently, but I've got no reason to think he's changed his mind. But he wants to be a Hollywood star.
Really?
And he'll get the roles. And with his mindset of dedication, like he'll learn. That guy will learn how to do everything. Like he's got the Schwarzenegger mentality. Like they told. Have you read any Schwarzenegger's books or seen his life story?
I've got his book, Total Recall. It's called his biography.
You read it? I've read it.
Yeah, it's massive.
With just the way that every obstacle he had, he was like, okay, elocution lessons then.
Yeah.
There was no
Venice
fucking
Beach
about. It
on
was
his
just
own.
there's a solution to everything,
On these grounds.
and that's Ronaldo's mentality. So he'll just get the best trainers, and you know. I think he'll definitely get the roles, obviously, and I think he'll be a much better actor than the likes of Triple H.
Have you seen the film? Arnold Schwarzenegger film about lifting weights, documentary, 70s. Yeah, have you seen that?
I have, but I don't recall it. I wasn't paying that much attention.
There's a bit where he's having a meal with Ken Lou Ferrigno, who's like rival at the time. He's having a meal with his parents, like him and Lou's parents, and he's totally taking the piss out of Lou, and he's like bringing them down, you know? Because it was like sort of like a sort of trick, like a sort of mind game. And he was saying, "What's it like having a son that's not the world champion like me?" And his parents are just laughing at him. It's just like, oh, what a fucking cheeky man, aren't you?
Mad.
Good though. It's good. He could do anything, aren't he? From politician, bodybuilder, actor, writer,
that's the thing.
motivational speaker. He's funny as well, man. You watch him interviews, he's hilarious.
Yeah, he's quality. Everyone loves Arnie.
I watched the ones him and Linda Hamilton were doing a snack wars thing, and he was totally good. Licking the chocolate bar and looking at Linda. It's funny. You could do anything, Arnie.
Well, I think Ronaldo will just follow those. I know Arnie's got the whole Mr. Universe thing, but Cristiano's got the Cristiano thing. He's CR7. He's got that brand. He's mega. Like okay, Arnie was famous in his own right, within his own, you know, circles because of his bodybuilding, but he wasn't the most recognisable man on the planet.
If you go into any sort of like Spanish or even like African holiday places like Magalita or I don't know, Greece, you always have fake Ronaldo tops for free.
Oh yeah.
So well known. I've actually got one. I've actually got a fake Portugal for Ronaldo one. Who do you think the most famous place is in the planet of all time?
Of all time,
If you were to go to any country in the world, or what one do you think?
Queen Elizabeth.
British Empire.
Well, it's got to be within the internet and social media generation, really, of all time. It's got to be in the social media generation.
Like Kim Kardashian or something like that?
No, it'll be. Look, there's no way.
There's one, Hitler. I think it'd be on that, Hitler.
Queen Elizabeth.
Yeah.
He's been official at one point. Alright, so there's been a time when he's definitely been. Yeah, I thought no one's topped her, as it was
John Lennon, Elvis.
Elizabeth.
I would agree with that. Definitely agree with that. But Hitler as well, man. We put a woman in that. Michael Jordan. Yeah, easy fucking man. Danny Dyer. Didn't know who he is in like Botswana. It's Danny fucking Dyer.
Saw something that was a fiction product, obviously, but it was like Danny Dyer does Alexa. And just like, I don't know exactly what you're saying, but
you ever watched The Wall with him? He's in it, Danny Dyer. It's a total game show, a shitty game show. A big giant wall and you have to knock the wall down to win the money type thing. But he acts as if he's actually losing money from the
Chris Tarrant used to do it.
Oh.
Oh no, that's frank.
yeah, he'd be like, drop it! He's like, you drop the wall, you drop it! When somebody would win, he would like pace around really angry. Damn it, it's not your money. That's the programs.
So that way.
You told pass the mate, you'd be drop it, drop it. I'm not your wow. Damn it. Channel 4's money. Killed. Fuck no.
Some people on Twitter are still just, ranting like they normally do, and it's just have a fucking day off, come on.
Yeah. That's why I don't go on Twitter.
Comedy stuff on there, well, I need to do better with
Everybody just fucking moans in this planet and arguing with each other and moaning and violent.
that. We're never going to live in a utopia, that's just a fact.
Yeah.
It's just stupid to waste your energy on driving with that sort of thing.
It's like, I've got fucking mates with all sides of politics and that, and they just fucking argue all the time, and it's like, who says you're right and who says you're wrong? It's an opinion. It's like, oh, it's a fucking, oh, it's a lefties, oh, it's the right wing. It's a fucking opinion.
People, I mean, I find it fascinating, but, and I just think it's important, but people, I know what you mean, they measure one another by morality. Like, I fallen out with one guy over politics once. It wasn't because he had a difference of opinion. It was because he just thoroughly enjoyed the show, and I amongst other things about his personality, I just fundamentally just started disliking him. He was just a narcissistic psychopath. He basically, he really enjoyed the fact that he found it really funny. Brexit. He just loved Brexit. That was his nickname at work. But it was just, he loved the fact that it wound up the foreigners because they felt unwelcome. He'd just be like, I don't think he really meant it, but he was just he loved one that he didn't care about what he wound them up with. Like, do you know what I mean? It was his whole personality. Politics was his personality. Those are the people that I think, I've seen a Janie Godley when she's talking about that. It's just like the problem with Brexit especially is people, they've been defending it for so long and they've become so ingrained in who they are now, they've embroiled all their family and friends in it. It's got to the point where they've been so dedicated to it for so long that they can't admit to change their minds. So that's why I've been married for 40 years.
Yeah. I tend to avoid online, like, debates, like, just arguing all the time, man.
What I don't like are these commentators, and I don't begrudge anyone making their, making money off of even just being a commentator, because it's almost like, well, the bigger commentator you get, when you start getting opportunities to make money, like, it's because you need to dedicate more time to it, and if that becomes your career, some of them probably go on to write for certain columns or be on certain panel shows and, go down that road. But there's a couple of political satirists that have done actual full-on comedy careers now. Rosie Holt, she just started during lockdown. And, she was into it anyway, but she wasn't doing this character. She made a whole nother gear change, in lockdown, and it blew up for her. That's really impressive. But it's the commentators. There's one that she's massive on TikTok, but even on Twitter, she's pretty good. She's got like 500,000 followers on TikTok, and her name's Super Tansky. She's a nice enough person. She's a fucking hypocrite. Like, she's always moaning about, and every time someone's negative, because she's like really venomous in her words, and like it's whimsical and funny, and she's really dry about it. She's from Essex, she delivers it really well, like cool. But what some people like that don't quite realise is their whole act is being horrible to someone. Whether just because you don't agree with them doesn't validate it. So and she reckons, like, anytime someone's like nasty to her back, like one of the followers or whoever, she's just like, this is what it's like having tits online. It's like, no, this is what it's like giving out the stuff you give out. Like, this is what you receive back. It's nothing to do. They haven't thought, oh, she's a woman, let's do this. Like, they do it to a male political commentator doing exactly the same content as her. She's not hounded because she's a woman, and she doesn't seem to get that. She's always complaining about, she's in a bad place because of all these online trolls, and that's just like, you're an online troll.
Yeah,
you're just a professional one, or like you're semi-pro or whatever, and it's like, have a think about yourself, kind of thing. My first excursion into putting content out there can only anger people that think the Earth's flat. So I think I've had the best sort of like crash course in dealing with it, because it doesn't bother me at all.
Yeah.
Because I just don't. You don't validate the opinions of someone who thinks the Earth's flat, do you?
No.
Like, if any of your mates, like if Dave just turned around and thought the Earth was flat, you'd just be like, how have you fallen for that? You would think differently, wouldn't you? No matter what. Like, there's a kiddie that we know as a bartender in Brighton that he went flat Earth at one point. What would you do if Dave said he thinks the Earth's flat?
Oh, I would just fucking, I don't know, I wouldn't even fucking rip him, I would just say, what?
Yeah, when it's your actual mate, you do it differently, don't
The
you?
thing is, I have mates who've said that to me, and it's just like, what do? You're just like, all you can say is the stuff on YouTube's not true, by the way, and that's all you can really say. It's like, you should, I would say to you, this is my reason for conspiracy theorists that do my nothing, is there's genuine conspiracy theorists, there's genuine things that are out there that are worrying. Why not focus on them? No.
I know, yeah, you hit the nail on the head there. None of my communities, I've never heard that brought up, in spite of how long I've been engaged with that topic.
There's no need to make stuff up when there's real fucking horrors in the world, right? That's fucking facts. Human experiments, everything like that. Human experiments happen every day and all this shit, and
it's a political tool now as well, isn't
Nestle and all that. It's fucking evil as fuck. That's no what about.
It's a political tool now. They just, like, politicians have hijacked conspiracy theories and steer them in the direction they want to steer them in to cause so much confusion. Because there's actually people, they're more common than you think as well. Like, the pandemic's really, it's given rise to a lot of wacky ways of thinking, because people were vulnerable at home consuming content, looking for answers, and isolated, and people actually, there's more people than you think that actually think that that people like Biden and the Queen and the royal family and certain Hollywood elites are drinking the blood of children and harvesting their organs. And it's just like, it's one thing thinking that GMOs are bad for you, and you know, falling for that sort of when you're going on a nutritionist sort of thing. And that opens the door to obviously anti-vax stuff as well, but fucking harvesting organs of children, really?
So stupid though.
You just breed children and harvest those organs. You have a facility under. Do you know what I mean? You wouldn't just kidnap them willy-nilly.
Yeah.
Setting the portal to Taurus Nabab.
I saw a fucking attempt at, you know, sort of proving. It was, you know how like people say with conspiracy theories, like, you know, how hard it would be to cover it up, like everyone would have to be in on it, and that would never happen. And it was like, but Father Christmas, like Santa Claus. Like everyone wouldn't know. Of course, no one. You know, of course, you couldn't ever get everyone in on it. It's just like everyone's not in on it. Like no one's trying to convince anyone under the age of 9 that Santa exists.
No.
Like that's not something. It's not. We're not. Adults don't believe in Santa Claus. Fuck off. That's not facts. That's not part of the. But you know what? It gives them so much will to live. Some of these people.
I've had arguments with folk about conspiracy theories, mate. So like, where's the evidence? It's like, oh, it's them trying to hide evidence. It's them hiding evidence. That means anything's a conspiracy. That means that they make crisps to make your feet fall off. That's a conspiracy. No, it's not. Well, there's no evidence. It's been kept hidden. It just never ends. It's like, what? So anything's a conspiracy. It doesn't matter what you say. You could say fish are invented by Pele to give everybody AIDS. So, what? That sounds a bit stupid. Oh, there's evidence, but it's been hidden. Just like the flat Earth stuff.
That's how it sounds, isn't it? It's just ridiculous. There's no limit to how stupid something is.
And how does it even start? How do you go up to a meeting and go, I think Obama's a reptile? Oh, so did I. Have you got any evidence? Oh, it's been hidden.
I can see how at one point they thought the Earth was flat. When you're a tiny little settlement.
We didn't know. We had to just assume it was flat because it made sense, because we walk in a flat line. That's how this makes sense.
When we were just little villages and settlements in like Norway, for example, Vikings, and we were just looking out and that, and they were like, if you build something that can get across this water, what, like after tea? Yeah, after tea. They built something, they went across the water, and they were like, do you reckon there's more to this? And then, over time, I thought, this could be like a ball.
Did you kind of, like in the early 1900s, they thought there was paths on Mars, like straight lines, like roads and paths in farmland. Because the telescopes were so poor, it looked like there was lines on the Mars. That was kind of accepted that, there's actually lines on Mars, there's been a civilization there. But we didn't know. No, it's a line, I'll send you
When was that?
About it. Early 1900s, late 1800s. Just accepted that there was. We didn't know there was life, we just knew that there was some sort of artificial structures, like roads or farmland. Because we didn't ken it was, we couldn't go to Mars, we just had these pure telescopes. What's this? Anything is a conspiracy. Anything at all. You make it up, it exists because that's how it looks. The evidence, so we make it up. I think Pele invented fish to rid the world of shoes. Don't have any evidence. It's been hidden. So, Pele, you don't like shoes. Why you don't like shoes?
You could literally say anything. Yeah. Like say the political parties have now hijacked it and gone, This is to our benefit.
The thing is, came with these sort of the right wing stuff. Why does it have to be all left wing stuff? Like, why you just go because it's a different political party? Oh, it's them that are all the reptiles. I say, what if?
Yeah.
What if Trump decided, oh, by the way, I love liberal stuff now? Would they go, oh, Trump's a reptile? Or would they just keep the narrative?
Controlled opposition is one they often pimp. You know, like everyone's either controlled opposition. Like these flat earthers fully think that, not me, because a lot of them probably don't know me as much as some of the other, you know, the YouTubers that debate them and, you know, ridicule them and stuff. They fully think that FTFE and McToon are paid shills by NASA. Like their job is to be on YouTube, like battling the freedom fighters, the troopers.
I didn't know. What was that I didn't know? I didn't know something recently. There's a political party that wear like combat trousers and Hawaiian shirts. Right wing thing. What's it called? And they're total zany. They believe in, it's something like Patriots or something like that. I can't remember. Something stupid like.
Do you know Marjorie Taylor Greene? Republican.
The crucible is still embedded in the Titan that attacked this
She's a governor, I think.
Your first battle against the demon.
No, governor. Anyway, she's a proper QAnon conspiracy theorist. She's, you know, Trump won. The vote was rigged, stolen elections. You know, she's a full-on. She's probably the. So much energy is just wasted on them fighting rather than actually improving their countries.
And I was saying, right, if Trump won the election, do you think they would have said it was a conspiracy? Or do you think they would have just, it's because he lost, it must be a conspiracy? It's just fucking stupid, Okay, if Joe,
obviously,
if Joe lost it, they would have went, oh, that's not really fair, because it was rigged. It was rigged and Trump's favour. It's just fucking dumb,
Well, they'd have just said that the best result, the true result, the truth prevailed, just won. They don't realise they're the villains. They don't realise Trump's the villain. They're the Nazi party, like they're the Nazi voters in a lot of people's eyes, and kind of logically in my eyes. You know, they're the same people who voted the Nazis in. They've just been manipulated badly. Like, I remember saying to my dad when I was a kid, like, how did Hitler do what he did? I was like, well, it didn't happen overnight, you know. And then I remember the first time I heard that the Nazis were voted in. I was like, what? I was just shocked, but you know, it all makes sense now as an adult. But like, and yeah, you read the history on it, and it didn't happen overnight. Yeah, they slowly. They didn't just. It wasn't just 5 blokes that all just got up there on telly and just went, right, we're gonna run to, you know, lead this country. Our policies include genocide. Who's with us? Pretty much it, to be honest. Just genocide of the Jews. And considering quite a lot of people were Jewish, you know, that wouldn't have passed. And over time, I think they lost. I think they came last in their first election attempt as a party out of the 7 parties or something like that were running, you know. But within something like 4-6 years, like that, they just got enough following, drip-fed people propaganda that the reason the recession was so deep and painful was because the Jews were hoarding all the money to stagnate the economy, so they could buy everything up and leave the German people behind. And you know, as everyone was hurting and in pain and suffering and starving, cold, and they were like, alright, yeah, well, let's try this lot. And then wasn't even for a few years, like while they were in power, they didn't just like overnight go, we're in power, now we're going to fucking invade Poland. But those are the same people that follow Trump. Like, it's you almost feel for him. Like McToon, like, because you got to give the, you know, you got to open your ears to people who did vote for Trump in order to sort of understand it. And McToon's a very clever guy, and he voted for Trump. And I said why, and he didn't really want to. I was like, I don't want to talk about politics. And I was like, no, I'm not coming at you to criticise. I literally, want to know that someone. I want to know why someone that I respect would. Because there's got to be something to it. Then is my sort of like. He's like, well, he's a bit coy about it. He's just like, well, I thought it'd be different. Basically, this is before the second elections. But I don't think he was going to vote. And the thing is, in America, for example, you kind of vote Republican or Democrat. It would seem.
Yeah,
So whoever's the leader of that is going to get your vote, whether it's Trump or do you know? Yes. But yeah, he was just like, I thought it'd be different. Where he's a successful businessman, I thought he might be able to pull off some of the same.
That's what took me Pete about it. Pete was a big Trump guy when he was coming out, and he sort of realised he was all the nonsense. I was like, he said it, aye, because everything he said was positive, and the USA was a mess, and Trump was all about getting all this change. Of course you would vote for him because you're like, oh, he's going to get jobs, he's going to do this, he's going to do that. A lot of people didn't know that he didn't have any data to back this up. It was just a reality show guy acting like he knew what he was doing.
Well, yeah, that's it. He's not Alan Sugar. Like,
He
Sugar knows.
promise jobs to everybody. He was just saying that, and that's what politics is. So it's just saying stuff to get people to vote for
Yeah.
you.
Yep. 100%.
I could say, if you vote for me, Ultra, I'll give you a job anywhere you want. What? How? I'll just I'll fix it. Believe me. And then I don't. Like, all right. Why
That's
you
what
do it?
anyone. Yeah.
That's it. Politics.
Apparently, what he literally did was, obviously it's his team that did all the research and briefed him, told him what to say. But he went to each individual state. He just found out how they're hurting, and specifically he found someone that targeted that, like in Michigan, for example, where General Motors.
Unemployment or homelessness, whatever.
Yeah, it was General Motors were basically about to move their production to Mexico or something like that. And he said, I've told. I don't know. They might not have been with hindsight, thinking about it, but maybe it would have been rumoured. Or maybe he made it up so that he could then say this. But he was like, yeah, General Motors are going to move their production to Mexico. And I've told them that if they do that, I'm going to put a 55% levy on their imports, making it obsolete. You know, the cost they would save, kind of thing, moving. So they're staying. So you're all keeping your job. There's a lot of people walking past it all the time, like constantly. So it's probably it's what you regard as the city centre. It's right by the clock tower, which is literally down from the train station, which is the crossing in the middle of the two main streets. It's like, but so it's just always, it's full of loads of retail units and stuff. In America, there are these massive purpose-built complexes off of intersections. And now they're just like these massive, vast, derelict bits of land and massive buildings and stuff. Like, I've seen some YouTube videos on people that visit these abandoned malls to see what they're like. Yeah. And people have been in there and stuff like that. You get imagine skateboarding around the shopping mall. Like, it would be a right laugh.
I've always wanted to do that. Like after watching Incredible Things.
Right, just in general, just being a skater as a younger, I remember always looking at the mall thinking, it's a skate in this place.
Taking you, the floors are the same, it's like a lino hard, like lino, that'd be great on skateboard.
Well, those are like shiny concrete type things.
Yeah, that's what I mean, yeah, like, smooth and...
Yeah, perfectly smooth. Well, yeah, they've been visited these places, but yeah, they're just derelict. Like retail's just like, Amazon has completely changed the world. It's always gonna. It's a good thing, you can't moan about it. It's like there's no need for black anymore, is there? Or they exist, but
folk are like, oh, Amazon, they're evil. They wiped everybody do it. And I said, well, somebody thought today, and he fucking done it. And it's well, why didn't fucking the guy in the corner make a super business that owned everything? Why didn't he do it? Jeff done it and fucking done it. I mean, I don't like that he's done it, but I'm fucking impressed. I mean, that's pretty impressive actually.
Well,
Going
he's
to
been
a bookshop, just selling books, to fucking selling anything you want. Same day it'll come to your door in America. Same day. Imagine that, you thinking, oh, I could do with a VCR, like something.
whole bleaching kit.
Oh, bleaching kit. I'll order it. Oh, if you order within 2 hours, it'll come the same day. Alright, that's good. Impressive.
Yeah, he just did it, and yeah, he's been ruthless.